Marla, look at me. I'm really okay. Trust me. Everything's gonna be fine. You met me at a very strange time in my life.
With your feet on the air, your head on the ground. Try this trick and spin it. Yeah. You have a collapse.
God damn it, an entire generation pumping gas, waiting tables, slaves with white collars. Advertising has us chasing cars and clothes, working jobs we hate so we can buy shit we don't need. We're the middle children of history, man. No purpose or place. We have no Great War, no Great Depression. Our Great War is a spiritual war. Our Great Depression is our lives. We've all been raised on television to believe that one day we'd all be millionaires and movie gods and rock stars, but we won't. We're slowly learning that fact. And we're very, very pissed off.
So here we're looking at the toasted cars. Patrick Connolly was right around the corner there when one of the towers was turning to dust. He had to head for cover, and he managed to get inside that door. This is Building 7. He went in there and started to go down to the bomb shelter in the basement and said, something's not right here. The bomb shelter was destroyed down in the basement. So he came out, couldn't really see where he was going, and starts heading up the road. And as he was heading up the road, making his way, thank goodness those cars went into spontaneous combustion, because then he had light and could see where he was going. It was total blackout. Notice the unburned paper all over the place. Here's where the towers were, FDR Drive. That's West Broadway. I sometimes refer to it as the swamp because it kind of looked like a swamp. With all the wet paper, fire hoses on the paper and dust and junk. Only the cars there were toasted. That's the toasted car park. FDR Drive. Now some folks believe that the cars were towed there. Well, not all of them were towed there. I don't know if any were, but I know some were not. There's a first responder down here who witnessed the spontaneous combustion of these cars, and like George Stephanopoulos' friend, was trying to explain it away and thought maybe a fireball got loose from one of the towers and rolled down the street and caught the cars on fire. That was the best he could come up with. Also, what was interesting is over here on the Manhattan Bridge, there were some first responders, some EMTs driving towards the World Trade Center. They said you could feel the heat from the bridge. It was so hot from the towers. But paper over here was not burned. How could you feel heat from there? I'll bet you felt something and interpreted as heat. Some kind of energy field. Because that's quite a distance away. So now we're going to look at where Patrick Connolly walked up West Broadway. Again, there's the car park, and there's West Broadway. It goes right past Building 7. So he came out of that door from Building 7 and started walking up. And this distance all the way up here, just, end-to-end toasted cars. Here's Building 7. He came up to intersection C, turned left. At that point, you can see from above toasted cars all the way up to here in a wet street with the mushy wet paper and debris and so forth. Now, what caught all those cars on fire, if you believe they're caught on fire? Falling debris from the towers? Well, why didn't it fall on these buildings? Only dust fell on those buildings. So how did the burning debris get down in the canyons? Yeah, that's a pretty deep canyon. Here's Building 7. It was early enough in the day that you don't see any fire yet coming out of Building 7 or any. It doesn't look like it's in distress. This bus, to me, it doesn't look like it burned up. Burnt things usually look black, and they have soot. I don't see any flame marks. This car here looks rusted. That's pretty fast for steel to rust. This is West Broadway. Notice the missing door handle. Missing engine.
Go. 3, 2. Oh man. More debris falling from a nearby building, the World Trade Center. We're at West Broadway and Barclay. Very difficult to breathe here, but look around. This must have been ground zero where this thing blew up. Car after car after car. Buses completely obliterated and burned straight down to the steel. Behind me.
That engine block? Wait, what? Why would it be gone? That hood. Oops, I didn't mean to go. There we go. So this is more of that same street. Missing door handles. Another one looks like the engine, something happened to it. Engine compartment. Rusty car. This is still early in the day. Building 7 is still in good shape. I don't know what that is. It kind of looks like a leg on the pavement there. But some strange things. Notice the trunk lids popped open. Doors open like the latches disintegrate quickly. This police car is interesting. Right at where the door seam is, it's toasted back there, but not up in the front. As though the rubber gasket seals it, like, electricity. Don't know. Nice tire. But strange disintegration or toasting. Now, folks say, well, yeah, car fires are like that. I can tell you the difference between these cars and a regular car fire. Look at this windshield, or lack of. It looks like it was wire brushed almost, ready for another paint job. Cars that have been burnt from a car fire, you'd find scraps of glass left in the corner somewhere. This is like everything gone. Here's the corner where Patrick Connolly turned. It was pitch black. You couldn't have seen your hand in front of your face if it weren't for whatever this was. It looks like fire. Now, it's things I call Cheetos. Looks like little Cheetos on the ground. I brought along from the United States example of Cheetos. They look just like that. There's little orange things. Ah, now you know. What you call it, what's-its here? See how this looks like it's little orange glowing things? Now, you're not going to confuse that with snack food, but I'm pointing out that there's something weird about it. This orange thing, it doesn't really act like hot things would. And so I sometimes refer to this as a Cheeto fire. I don't want to make it assume that it's a regular fire. It may be, but maybe it isn't. This sure isn't regular. This is a contrast, high contrast version of this. Look at this fire on what appears to be fire on the side of the van. What's burning? Just the side panel of the van has flames coming out of it. And I didn't see one bit of evidence showing a gas tank or petrol tank exploded. They didn't seem to explode. It was something else going on. Paper, not burned. Doo-doo-doo. Do you think they're used to seeing that? There's in some of the transcripts, they're saying, well, we're waiting for so-and-so, so we just start putting out car fires. What else is there to do? But it was also interesting that some of them said initially the water had no effect on these fires. Hot things glow, but not everything that glows is hot. Yes, hot things do glow, but just because it's glowing doesn't mean it's hot. I don't know if you have fireflies here. Yes, they glow. They glow probably from a chemical type thing. Also, these are, I guess, incandescent bulbs, but there's also fluorescent bulbs. They produce heat from different mechanisms. Fluorescent bulb, you wouldn't want to unscrew it while it's hot. Fluorescent bulb, no problem. So it's a different mechanism. Thinking about that, all right, you have what appears to be unburned paper, something glowing. And someone in the truther movement would often say, see, molten metal. Wait a minute, molten metal from heat? Oh, why isn't the paper burning? You got these orange Cheetos over here. And sometimes you have Cheetos sitting on paper, paper's not burning. That doesn't make sense. Another big thing with this is that this is aluminum cladding from the buildings. Pure aluminum melts at about 660 centigrade. It's lower, slightly lower if it's an alloy. So no more than 660 centigrade, probably 600 centigrade is the melting temperature of the aluminum cladding, somewhere in the low 600s. To get this much, white hot, yellow hot, it's got to be like 1100 centigrade. Houston, we have a problem. Why isn't this drooped over? Aluminum glows, but when it's a puddle. Here's a close-up view of this corner. It kind of looks like the aluminum is even glowing. But if this is white-hot fire down here, that aluminum would be melted. So it appears that it's glowing for a reason other than heat. Now, fluorescent bulbs, kind of a use of plasma instead of resistance heating for the incandescent bulb. If this debris field were hot, would you put an oxygen hose over it? And would you be standing at the other end with a cutting torch? That's suicide, kaboom, but nobody blew up. So this is not from heat. What is this? I mean, these guys, if this was hot, it'd be like standing on your backyard grill. And they'd be like, grilled cheese sandwich. But they look like they're alive and well. So I wouldn't say that's hot. A lot of people have seen this image saying, that's proof of heat. Because somebody has this picture and labeled these points. On this picture that was partly a combination between NASA, USGS, and Jet Propulsion Lab. One took a picture, one added something else, and so maybe something got lost along the way, or maybe it's correct data but misinterpreted as thermal heat. This might be something else, some other interesting energy signal. So this point E, they say it's 819 Fahrenheit. Here's 819 Fahrenheit. See, the little lump there is building 3, or the remains of it. Here's building 3. There's a lake there. A water main broke, filled the street with water. And this guy's even walking around in knee-deep water. He doesn't look like a boiled chicken. Water boils at 212 Fahrenheit. So that's not hot. Or it's not water. Again, this is the swamp, West Broadway. Lots of unburned paper. Bushy trees. Full foliage. Not burned. The buildings are not burned. Traffic lights. Potted in the ground. are not burned or melted. This guy's engine had better days. Rear end here is kind of on the ground. So for several blocks, all the cars were toasted. No trees toasted, no buildings toasted, no signposts toasted. Do you see a pattern? Cars are up on rubber tires. They're insulated from the ground. Things that go into the ground are grounded. Maybe that has something to do with it. This is during the cleanup. You'll see spontaneous combustion over there. There's a closer up image, but here you have hydraulic equipment that isn't damaged. It's operational. Stuff would just light up. People who say this is fire burning for 99 days, well, it's not hot fire. You know, that equipment, again, hydraulics are permanently damaged if operated over 82 degrees centigrade, about 180 Fahrenheit. This one is
The
kind of
women go
interesting.
in and out of Ground Zero up to 10 times a night, often until 2 in the morning, delivering whatever it is rescue workers need to do their jobs, like the ones working in the hotspots.
Steel-toed boots is one of the biggest things.
Steel-toed boots?
Steel-toed boots. Out still on the rubble, it's still, I believe, 1,100 degrees. The guy's boots just melt within a few hours, and they're burning their feet.
The guy's boots melt in a few hours. We have no reports of burned feet. Yet this statement was repeated over and over again. I don't blame these gals at all. They're trying to explain something. Boots are apparently disintegrating, and they need to be replaced for some reason. But if it was 1,100 degrees and these guys are walking around in boots that are melting, we should at least have a few reports of burned feet. As I like to say, if my steel oven is melting, the turkey inside is more than well done.
A lyricist supremacist attacking the track like Gator villages. A lyricist supremacist attacking the track like Gator villages.
We were flowing over Mother's Ocean. Liberty's my potions, my sickness. She laughed and said, it's just motion. I gave her my tear like, here, take my emotions for. I'm sure I might not make it back, I'm jumping overboard. The New World Order chose a wrong robot to fuck with. No strings attached, I'm cutting the heads off these puppets. They used to love my sound when I was dumbing it down. Soldier boy, tell them that I'm telling it intelligent now. State apologist, trying to make me swallow hollow tips. I bite the bullet and spit more knowledge in the colleges. Acknowledges politics ain't shit when the guns bust. So trust us, it's just us, we the people for justice. They're parasitic like the crimes committed, admit it. They on their last leg, let them stand on trial with it. If I was built to spit 16 to demented bliss, then I just served 48 death sentences.